Main events like Marvin Vettori versus Roman Dolidze is exactly why I say the UFC is watered down. However, it is a necessary evil if you want the UFC every weekend or every other weekend. You're going to have to put up with some bad main events. And on paper, this isn't too bad of a main event, right? It's the number 8th ranked middleweight in Marvin Vettori versus the number 12th ranked middleweight in Roman Dolidze. However, as you're watching, it becomes apparent about midway through that neither of these guys will ever be champion. They don't pass the eye test. And even though the fight was cool, you see some pictures here, it was a entertaining fight. It wasn't a boring fight, but it was just a fight where like nothing's on the line here. Like this is just gonna be forgotten about years from now, kind of thing. Like there's no consequences from this. Roman Dolidze will not become a champion. He does not pass the eye test. I'm sorry. I hate to be mean about it or anything like that, but there's just levels to this game. And number 8 and number 12 look a lot different than number 3 and number 5. It's just a different visual. Also, if you're that guy who's knocking on the door of the top 10, I don't want you to knock ever so politely. I want you to kick that door down like you're Hamza Shemaev and bust in, breaking people's jaws. I want to see you do what Dricus du Plessis did when he bursted onto the scene with his finishes. What he did to Darren Till, what he did to Robert Whittaker first before what Hamzat did to him. It's just one of those things. It's one of those things where you're looking at it and you're like, if you're the guy coming up behind Vettori, whose best days are behind him, right? He's either coming off a shoulder surgery or a double shoulder surgery, one of the two, and he spoke about possibly retiring. He thought about retiring, blah, blah, blah. If that's the case, you got to kind of look at it like his best days are behind him. And if you're Dolidze, I don't know, I would have liked to have seen a finish if I'm supposed to believe that you're going to go on to become a champion. We didn't get that. I think Dolidze would be someone who's just in the top 10 of middleweights, and he'll just kind of stay at the top 10. I don't see him fighting for a title nor winning a title. But again, this is a necessary evil if you want the UFC every weekend or every other weekend. You're going to have to put up with bad main events. And I promise you, if this was 10 years ago, these guys would be opening up the pay-per-view, or they would be opening up the fight night card. These guys would be nowhere near a main event if this was 10 years ago. Maybe not even 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Like 5 years ago, maybe pushing, but like 10 years ago, absolutely not. These guys would be nowhere near sniffing a main event. Never mind actually in the main event and, get competing. So that's my take on this one, man. The sport is kind of watered down a little bit, but you do get to see some upcoming talent on these cards and things like that. You see it, even though, like, to me, this was filler. For any of you anime people out there, this was a filler episode. And, if you watched it, cool. It was a cool filler episode. But if you didn't watch it, you didn't miss much. And, regular programming will continue shortly. So that's pretty much my take on this one. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below, whether you agree and disagree. Does not matter. Just join the discussion. Follow for more. And, of course, you are all appreciated. Did I say leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent? Sometimes when I do these outros, I'm all over the place and I don't necessarily, I may leave one part out or whatever, but did I? I don't know. Anyways, I'm out.